So are we clear about what UX is doing? Yeah. You don't have to be pretend that you know. If you don't know, you can say you don't know. All right. Because I'm going to show you this image. All right. So from this really clear image over here, this is what we're doing. So we, first of all, we have the concept level of your design, and then we're going to test it. So when we test it, we choose our personas. So we choose the target audience that represent your majority of your user. So I would advise that, hey, if you have something to test on, please don't think that, okay, because you're a business owner, you know very well of your product, and therefore you design something for yourself. Look, you haven't talked to the user yet, because that's the most important thing, right? So you only design according to your experience that you think is good. But when we played it back to the user find it really difficult to understand what you have designed. So really, we are designing for the user. So the role of UX designer or strategist is to put user at the center of your design to align with your business revenue, all right? So if the UX designer only focus on the design, then you don't have to talk to him or her because he never considered the business point of view. So a true UX strategist will always put revenue on the side and also user and match it up and see how we can upsell and cross-sell during this journey. And that is the ultimate objectives of having the UX. All right. So you probably will ask me, I'm not a UX designer. Can I do things for a UX designer for ourselves? Of course, because now you're speaking to me, right? So I'm going to share with you some of the methods that you can use. Really, really simple method that you can use it for yourself and before you talk to, people like us, right? So the essence of UX is really about research and testing. So if you are not really good in the research side of things, no problem. You can go to have a testing for your user. So to start with, if you are a small business owner, can I have a raise of hand? How many of you are small business owner over here? All right, cool. So how many of you are working with your digital team or digital marketing team for your company? All right. So who are the rest over here? Okay, so it's a little bit of having your own business and also working for some other people, something like you don't have to tell me, right? If your boss is here, don't tell. All right, cool. All right, over here. So what you can do is that if you don't know how to write up a plan for the user, to research, that's okay. What you can do is to, if you have a website, just ask your user or your target audience or any personas. So you got to know who are your personas. I think you know best who are your target audience, right? You don't need me to tell you who are your personas, right? So usually personas will be another part of the workshop or sessions that we can actually dive into it, but I'm not going to focus it right now, all right? So I'm going to talk about, hey, choose the personas that reflect to your major target audience, and then ask them to run through with you. Now, show me how can you do the flight booking. Show me how do you buy the insurance. Show me how do you buy the product. Don't intervene them and ask them, and you watch how they respond to the testing. And then at the same time, you make some notes over there. Why are they stuck at that particular point of time? And if they're stuck, you cannot tell them where to go. You have to let them lost, because this is what we wanted to see, all right? And then if they're stuck there at a particular point of time, they are not moving their mouse, they are not clicking, then you can ask them saying that, hey, may I know what you're thinking at the moment? Please don't say something like, can you click there and go there? So no, there's no hinting, there's no selling, there's no pointing, there's no sharing of information. Literally, we want to know where they're stuck. Not you, because you know where you're going to click. All right, but your user is the one who will pay you the money, right? So of course you know where to click. I mean, you can go here, right? You can click there and then sign in and sign up and things like that. You'll be very surprised that most users do not differentiate what sign in and sign up about. log in, log out. Existing user, register for a new user, sign in, sign out. What's the difference? All right. So that's why some companies that avoid using that term like sign up or sign in, because they don't know what is it. All right. So that's why some website, they rather speak a very clear language, which is also part of the UX strategy, that register as a new user. Go in if you're an existing user, something like that. So see, we actually look around the website and look at how we can identify the pain points. So this is a really simple exercise that you can do. Just think of one journey and test it with your user or anyone, not your colleague, because they know very well how they are going to interact with the website. Choose someone, especially your user, your buyer, then and ask them a very simple question when you have a cup of tea with them, saying that, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you just show me how you buy the ticket from us, right? And then see how they struggle, right? And that's usually where the point that you should be happy about. Can you tell me what are you thinking, right? Can you tell me what you're looking for? And what do you expect from there? So after you click, what do you expect? It will come out, you know? So, and if, I'm sure that you have seen a lot of websites that say, okay, buy now or learn more. These two buttons always comes together. Am I right? And then you can see the left buttons usually highlighted in a bold color or something like that because they want you to click on it. All right. And usually that button is buy now. All right. And then if you don't buy now, you click to the right-hand side of the call to actions. We call that call to action buttons because it requires you to take some actions. And usually that will be very low tone, not many colors, just text saying that learn more. All right. Because we don't want you to learn more, we want you to buy now. You know what I mean? So that's why. So unfortunately, some people, they actually use that to influence the user behavior, which is very naughty, isn't it? But that's our job, okay? So, okay, now I'm going to tell you why UX is so important in digital marketing, all right? So back in 2021, which is not long ago, to be honest, last year, Google released something we call the page experience as the major ranking factor. And I know the speakers earlier, I'm glad that you talk about this, all right? Because what does page experience means? It's never happened before. Well, it is because Google has been using AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, which is also what we have to deal with, and also natural learning programming, all right? So these are developer back-end kind of thing. So to put it in a very simple term, so all this we call algorithm. So these algorithms, they actually work very busily at the back of the website, which you can't see it, you can't see it. For example, if you key in something in Google search, right? The back-end exercise, all this algorithm will start working like a gym. So they start pumping up the muscle and things like that. So the more you load with your website, like for example, you know, the earlier speakers, he actually mentioned if you have video directed to another website or if you have tied up with some audio and things like that, that means more, you know, weightlifting that the website has to do at the back end, right? So it affects your page speech and things like that. So last year, Google released something like that as a really very important ranking factor over here. And over here, we probably heard about it from the earlier speakers, Core Web Vitals. So when we say page experience, these are the algorithms, these are the indicators that Google's will design to work at the back end of your website to crawl the information that they want. I put it in a very simple term, right? So there's something we call web crawler, all right? Also means spider. So that actually triggered by, now that's the magic, by digital marketing tools. I'm going to tell you what are the tools, or you are going to tell me what are the tools that are very influential, contributing to the high sort of detections using this tool by the Google, all right? So over here, you can see Core Web Vitals is what really working on at the back end. But what we can do as a digital marketer is really, you can do some magic in digital marketing tools to stimulate your website to become mobile friendly, safe browsing, HTTP, and so on and so forth, right? So now, in a nutshell, so what is it about? Let me keep it simple. One of the job of UX strategists is to make things simple, all right? We do not like complicated things. So that's the pain, isn't it? So to turn something that's really complicated into something that's easy is really not easy, all right? So because we as a human being tends to make things complicated, right? Especially when there's an argument between, your wife and you and, boyfriend and girlfriend. And then what we're trying to do is that we try not to speak more, because the more you speak, the more the other party pick up on that terms and started to argue with it, right? So for example, hey, what's for dinner? You decide, because yesterday you said the same thing and she got angry, right? And then so you keep quiet. Tell me, what do you want, right? Dear, tell me, what do you want? You decide. You're the queen of the night. Ooh, right? But you got to tell me today, I'm letting you decide. And that's the trap, right? That's the trap. And then you say, tell me, how about something that's easy? Like what, right? Be careful. This is a second trap, right? This is a second trap. So when they say like what, then you have to be very careful. You need to know what you have eaten yesterday or the day before or even last week. Or if you say something that's repeated, you never know, all right? Okay, now let's be gender fairness over here. It's not only he or she, all right? Anyone, all right? Okay, let's say KFC. Nah, that's too fast. Maybe takeaway. Oh, that's too slow. Fish and chips, that's in between, we just had it yesterday, right? Then you say, you decide, I have give you my choice, right? Why? You're going to decide this, right? So, and then if you say something that is out of, the budget or any preferences, you got to be careful, right? So that's why we as a human being, we learn a lesson and we tend to not, we tend to be very careful in our behavior. Unfortunately, that's how we shape our behavior. We learn by mistake, right? And the purpose of UX strategies is really to have that open discussions, right? So to make things really easy, if you don't like it, tell me, all right? And what do you want? What are you thinking, right? Invite for collaboration. So in a nutshell, that page experience, let's go back over here, is what we are talking about from the UX point of view, is really to utilize the search intent, the page speed, the mobile friendliness, and the dwell time. The dwell time is when you click on the results, when you key in the keywords, you click on the results on the SERP, right? Search results page, right? So it's how long you're going to stay after you click on that results. That's the dwell time. So the higher the dwell time, what does it mean? What does it mean? Dwell time is the amount of time that you spend to stay on that web page after you click on the link in the results page, right? The higher the dwell time means, yeah, maybe high ranking, but before that, the harder, yeah. Maybe that means they like the page. So in a nutshell, we say high engagement, right? So this is really what this topic is really about. How do you design high engagement in your digital marketing funnel? And later on, I'm going to tell you, all right, the digital marketing funnel is no longer a funnel. And then what is that, right? Okay, over here. So this is what we are going to focus on, to increase the page experience activities so that Google will utilize their machine learning, the NLP, the AI to, crawl better to search the informations that you want. So in the other words, what our job as a digital marketing specialist is that you have to do something to, make this happen, make it easy for your website, for the Google to start working, all right? So what we can do is to borrow the Google tools and to make it happen for you, all right? Because the tools are there, the technologies are there, and you don't even need to pay for it, right? So now, what we can focus over here today, I'm going to share with you a few techniques that we always use in Air New Zealand to sort of encourage people to make booking better, all right, to ensure a really good experience over here. So previously, I've been working in telco company, and when I do the transitions, when I actually moved over to Air New Zealand, we find it really, really helpful. So over here, we will focus on site architecture, the visitor journey, desktop mobile layouts, and user flow. So if there's anything that you can contribute directly to this, all right, that means, in the other words, you will, sort of making use of the page experience algorithm set by Google's, and therefore you will get faster results when people actually search for your product or services, right? Okay, now, digital behavior, digital strategy. So let's look at the basic element of digital marketing strategies over here. So I'm sure that you know digital marketing is not only about social media, right? A lot of people actually telling me that, oh, I know social media, I know Facebook, I know digital marketing. That's not quite right, because there are many elements in digital marketing. So when we say digital marketing, social media marketing is just part of it, all right? So if you have a look at this, I have not even included Google Analytics. I have not even included display advertising, right? So over here, these are the 6 major strategies that we can say. If you embrace that, then you're going to have a really good strategy for your campaign, right? So today I'm more focused on your funnel and your campaign, because if I'm targeted at a very broad sort of activity, you won't get it. So I will just focus on sales funnel over here, all right, in digital marketing. That's what we use digital marketing for, isn't it? To have a sales funnel. You know what a sales funnel is, all right? So when we know funnels, we have to know the channels. So usually digital marketing channels and funnels are usually work together, all right? So now, if you look carefully, all right, the first item over here is to have an engaging website. And what is that? That's UX, all right? That's user experience. And next we have SEO, or content marketing, email marketing, social media marketing, pay-per-click, which is a pay sort of Google Ads, Google AdWords. You used to call Google AdWords before. All right, now, so SEO and PPC, the difference is really about SEO being organic, and PPC you pay for it, right? Simple as that, all right? And just now, our wonderful speakers earlier, he already touched about the difference between SEO and PPC, and whether or not they should work with each other or marry with each other or divorce or something like that, but it's entirely up to you, right? Sometimes it's happy to get, to stay alone, but we don't know, because different product, different needs, different strategies, right? We cannot say it. I mean, I cannot say that, hey, the general answer, of course, the best answer would be work together, put these two together, right? But you hate that answers, right? So I would say that depends on your product. If you are dealing with a niche market, you probably can make use of SEO effectively, all right? Because the keywords that they use, the SEO that they use, normally is a long-tail keywords. People don't use short-tail keywords anymore. For example, coffee. You know that 100 and 1,000 search results will come out. Why are you going to search coffee, right? Then you probably will search a longer keywords. For example, the best coffee powder, something, in Auckland or something like that, right? I'm not going to touch on it because this is not about SEO. It's really about how you can use these tools, marry it with UX, and make the most of it, right? Okay, now, this is who we are many, many years ago. When we say many years ago, it's actually not too long. Probably 5, 6 years ago, you can still people reading newspaper on the bus, right? But now, What did you see? What did you see? This is what you see. All right. Okay. I want you to spot the difference rather than the device that they're holding, and this is newspaper and storybook. And what is the main difference, or what is the main difference that you can see? All right. Over here. Earphone. Very good. You can spot that. That's really good. What else? Screen. They interact with screen. All right. So we call it human computer interactions, HCI, human computer interactions. So UX will only happen when human interact with some sort like an interface, computer interface. So you probably will be surprised that is UX strategies or designer only deal with applications or website? The answer is no. Let me tell you, you'll be very surprised at how many computer interface in your daily life that you don't even realize it. All right? If you don't believe me, I can give you some examples. You go to McDonald's, how did you order? Last year, it was not like that. All right? Only this year they changed it. Touch screen. So if there is a screen, human computer interactions. That's UX. That's the experience. So the experience is formed when human interact with any surface of interaction. So as long as human being touch on it to make interactions, the experience is formed. Do you get me? So now, apps is only one of them, right? Website is only one of them. What else? You sit into Tesla car, there's a big screen over there. You have the human-computer interaction. That is the experience. That's the UX, all right? So you go to the bank, take numbers, show on the screen, which is next, wait for your turn. The interface design over there, I know it looks really ugly and very simple, but still there's a human-computer interactions over there, all right? You're going to see the doctors, all right, go to the hospital, and then they use some sort of a device when they look at the screen to look at, your heartbeat and things like that. That's human-computer interactions. You use Zero, you do your own GST, you fire in your RRD or something like that. That's also, an interactions. Watch, you wear your watch, your wearables, that's the interactions, that's the screen over there. That is also user experience. Glasses, when you wear glasses, and you can see things projected. It's actually happening. You just haven't seen it yet. AR, VR is also a new form of human-computer interaction. So the future, it's really about human-computer interactions. So that's why you can't run away from user experience. You really can't run away from user experience. But what we can learn from here is that people can make use of the Internet of Things. Have you heard of Internet of Things? They make use of different devices over here. So if you can see it over here, people listening to Spotify at the same time watching or browsing the website on the mobile phone, all right? And look at that guy. I don't know what he's looking at, all right? But maybe he's doing some purchasing and things like that. So everyone assessing their device, having different purposes, different goals, and different needs, right? You don't know what's happening. So now, the UX, part of it is that we are going to examine, all right, how actually will encourage the user to use the device more. So in the recent study of Air New Zealand, we realized that the timing of people using device is actually quite interesting, all right? You thought that Friday afternoon, probably, people will surf on the internet really often, right? And that's how you pick up your customers. So you need to ask yourself where your customer is actually coming from at what time, using what device. You gotta know what they're using. You gotta know their behavior, not you, all right? You can say that, oh, I don't use mobile phone, I only use website, right? I'm selling this on my website. I know. No, you don't know. You don't know, all right? The only thing you know is you look at your data analytics. That's why we use Google Analytics or any analytics, all right, not necessarily Google, all right? And also, the best way is that, hey, I'm not technology savvy, so how am I going to know? You speak to your user. That's the most easy way, right? You look at your social media, Facebook, how do they interact? Do you use Instagram? Do they message you? What time? All right. So just talk to your user to get a really simple background of your user when they are actually using the website. The interesting fact that New Zealand found out recently from the UX strategists is that the most active time they do the flight booking is actually from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock night time. All right. So now, and they can also do the booking as early as 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. All right. And then throughout the day, they're actually quite busy because nowadays, it's probably because of the way, we work from home. It's so common right now after COVID-19. We can see a shift of human behavior going to the office. And now it seems that a lot of employers are happy with you working from home. And when you work from home, it doesn't mean that you have more time to interact with your device. This actually makes you more busy. All right. So do you realize that you have back-to-back meetings, endless back-to-back meetings, and after the meetings, and then your wife is calling you, your husband's calling you, your kids is there, and then you got to pick up your kids and drop off your kids. Really, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, that's, oh, no, I can't. And then when you go back, another meeting, right? So you actually get busier than before because you are working remotely. That means you cut the travel time, the parking time, the time of you stuck in the traffic. That means you have more time. So in this case, we actually realized that there's a huge shift of human behavior over there. Another interesting fact is that we also realized that people tend to make their booking when they are in the toilet. All right? And then, hubby, what are you doing in there? Stop browsing your phone, right? Yeah, we know, all right? If you don't know, and what is the best time? The best time is 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, usually after dinner, okay? All right, I want you to look at these photos. Look at the size, okay? All right, over here, because people tend to, the digital behavior, because we want things fast. That's why you go to Uber Eat fast. You want it now, and you're fickle. You're so fickle. You are not loyal to one brand because let's say, hey, dear, can we go for a movie? What movie? I haven't heard of it. Let's check the Google review. Let's check the review. Am I right? All right. If there are a Rotten Tomato, if they have got a high ranking, we can watch the movie. Don't waste the ticket, right? So fast. You look at the review, all right? And the amount of time to do research is faster than ever. You don't have to walk across the shop. Remember, those were the days, all right? I think we are about the same age over here. We are so young. And then, when we want to buy an iPhone or something like that, remember those days we walk every shop and ask for every price to make comparison, right? But now, go to the website. Straight away, when they are doing research, comparison, browse package, silver package, gold package, most popular, silver package, right? What they want you to know, what they want you to do, subscriptions. That's the ultimate business model in the business nowadays. They do not want you to have a one-off business. Our ultimate goal is to make you paying the subscriptions. Tell me, how many times you go to the gym when you pay for the gym every month? All right? Subscriptions. How do they survive? Human behavior, because we know humans are quite lazy, are quite busy. They want things fast. They want things now. If you want it now, you want to go to the gym, right? You want it fast, you want it now. But compare with the time that you are not going to the gym is actually more than the time you wanted to go to the gym. And that is where the UX designer, the UX strategist take advantage of the time and turn that into a business opportunity, right? So we always look for this business opportunity to know how to, get the money, all right? So now, look at the size over here. Because of technology, we're getting fatter, big size and things like that, right? Okay, now, let me quickly run through with you. Digital marketing funnel. So if you look at the left-hand side, this is how the digital buyer behave, right? Awareness, consideration, conversion, loyalty, advocacy. I think most of you, you are quite familiar with this model, right? Because this is a digital funnel, right? But if you look at that, over here, these are the digital marketing tools that you can use right from the top of the funnel to the bottom of the funnels, right? And over here, you can see an overview where you can use SEO, where you can use blog, where you can use, lead to lead magnet to sort of capture your leads generations. So I'm sure you know what leads is about. 3 things about leads. Before you get the leads, you need to get the traffic, right? Right? Very first thing, traffic. Second, conversion. Third, sales, right? If you don't have, let's go backwards. If you don't have traffic, you won't have conversion. You won't have sales. But unfortunately, a lot of small business owners, a lot of people, they're straight away target on getting the sales. Pay your money first. You forget about how you should get your traffic. If you wanted to have a digital sales funnel, the whole experience is that you need to get the traffic. Remember the 150-10 rules? 100 people comes over here in the funnel, only 50 people will stay and look at your product, and only 10 people will start taking out their wallet or their purse to buy from you. All right? 10, 50, 10. 150, 10, sorry. All right? So you can see the conversion over there from 100 to 10 people. So if you wanted to have a business of 100 people, look at how much traffic you have to generate. So the 1,000 has to be multiplied by 10, right? So that's why the traffic is important, then conversion, then sales, all right? So if you work backwards, if you straight away think about how to get the money, how to get the sale, you won't get it. You won't get it because where's the traffic, right? So over here, so these are the tools that you can use. I'm not going to spend time on this because this topic is really about UX over here. So what the UX designer is doing is that we're trying to match the user experience with the digital funnel, right? So we're going to map it. So whether or not the user experience, the experience means you are matching with the digital funnel. This is how we do for the first exercise. We're going to map it out. So what you can do is that you can use your existing digital funnel. For example, if you're selling some product, I'm sure you have a landing page, right? Not the main page, landing page. Landing page is for you to target on your audience, right? For example, Xero accounting software. The main page, to be honest, people don't go to the main page. In digital marketing sort of channels, people don't go to your main page. You think main page is the first page that the user will see? No, all right? Because sometimes we might want to target on a specific product. When they actually do the search in Google's, when they click on it, maybe it goes straight to the product page. It doesn't go to your main page. So don't think that main page is always the first page that the user will always go to, all right? That is why a lot of high-end sellers, when they sell the product, they have different landing page for different personas. For example, Xero, they targeted on trading. They have a hidden landing page using tradie as the photos, telling the story of tradies, and then, hey, do your own tax, do your own GST. And when they, play with the SEO or PPC, Google Ads, then if they are tradie, Google will capture the spiders, will crawl, and they know that you are a tradie, and therefore the landing page for tradie will pop out for your product, not your main page. So imagine how many landing page sitting behind the web page in order to target on different audience. And this is what the successful business are doing. They never tell you, you thought that the main page is the first page. No, behind it, there are many landing pages for different personas. This is how they capture different market. So now, back to your product. Look at your personas, right? Who are your main target of your user? Does that page looks like them? For example, you know that your target audience are mostly from housewife. When they look at your web page, does it feature a story of a housewife? Is that housewife there? All right. You can't actually put a man there and saying that, hey, buy my product, right? It's not, you're not speaking their language, right? So the entire experience is different. So personas is really important over here. So when we do the matching, all right? So this is the traditional way of doing things. Today, I'm not going to share this. Remember, our job is to make things simple. This is not simple, so we forget it, all right? So what's the point of me showing this? The point of me showing this is that I wanted to show you how complicated it was previously. So remember, those are the days you talk to your sales manager or you have a brainstorming, having a workshop. Okay, let's ask this question in each process of your digital buying process, right? You will ask question that, what catch my eyes? Who is actually buying and things like that. Now, today, I'm going to share with you something that's really simple, all right? I'm going to tell you that because if you still remember the image that I have shown you, people looking at their mobile phone, doing their searching on the bus, right? People come from anywhere. They can listen to the radio and pop into the website using their mobile phone. They can sit there in a toilet bowl listening to the Spotify at the same time playing the iPad, right? They can play the PS5, right? And then at the same time, the other one, your kids are playing with iPad and then listen to YouTube or watching the YouTubes while you are playing something. So people nowadays in your household, imagine many different person, they're using different device, having different motivation and needs. They all come from nowhere. You really can't capture where they're coming from. So therefore, funnel is not working because funnel is just a unilateral sort of pathway that you actually think that they're coming from one source of the audience. But the single truth, source of truth is that they don't come from one source. So that is why we actually say that, hey, the modern online buyer journey is not a funnel. It's actually a loop, all right? They keep looping and looping and looping. They jump from one to another. They are fickle. Remember, I told you, digital user, the behavior, they are fickle, all right? If you don't like this, straight away, you will search from the other one, all right? If you don't like this, you search for another one. So the speed is so fast that you keep on looping, right? And maybe you heard from friends, and then after that, you go to the website. And then after that, you say, well, that's not true. Look at this review. So see, we say that the funnels nowadays are actually a loop. There are two loops that the Air New Zealand, we actually focusing at. First, we wanted to help them to make decisions. We realized that there's one big loop before they start buying, is to start researching, all right? They start comparing the airfare. We don't have competitor because Air New Zealand doesn't think they have competitors. So anyway, but I do. All right. So, well, we actually come up with the funnel, a loop saying that, can we do better if the customers is in the loop of researching? So did you have something to help them to make decision? For example, price comparison. Remember I tell you the Browns, the Go package and things like that. This is the most popular thing to do. I'm not saying that you have to copy this, but do you have something that help them to make a better decision when they are researching for your product, right? The first and foremost strategy that most company is using is a direct competitors. For example, telco, where I was previously working for. So blue collar telco. I don't want to mention the name. Red collar telco, right? So they always put this together. The blue collar the red collar offer this, but blue collar offer cheaper, right? And then they always, you see in a lot of advertisement, we do things like that. So why they're doing this? Because they know the customers are trapped in the research loop. They will keep on looping and looping. You need to help them to get out of the rat race. You need to let them get out of it. The only way is to tell them that choose us. We are the best. Remember those tiers that say, okay, if you choose these tiers, you get a lot of this tick, 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 right? And then you choose the second tier, tick, 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 tick. And then you choose the third tier, all ticks, including the first tiers and the second tiers. Am I right? Why they are doing that? Because we wanted to help you to make faster decisions. We know that if you take care of that loop, then your revenue will be here for you forever, all right? When I say forever, I'm going to the second loop, which is the loyalty loop. We are talking about digital user over here. Once they buy it, they will have to, be loyal to you. That's why we have this loyalty A points, all right? and status point, A points to keep you under the loyalty loop. So now you can create your own loyalty loop. Just think what you can do to make your customer loyal to you. Do you have some sort of like a, you don't have to be complicated. Even a cafe knows how to do this. You go and buy 10 cups of coffee, you free 1 coffee. Am I right? Stamping. So they come up with a coffee stamping card. That is a loyalty loop. Simple as that. So can you work out something that they can easily retain their service, all right? And when they think of you, then they will come back to you, all right? In the recent research, we do more, all right? As a UX researcher, we always do more. We actually think that in the coming future, there is also another loop. We call that the stay loop. And the next approach that we wanted to come up with is how we make you stay, because the digital user are not loyal. They're fickle, right? So especially in the social media, they can say good things about you today, but maybe tomorrow they change their mind, all right? And usually, user will not do what they think they wanted to do, all right? We believe that if you have designed something that is good, doesn't mean user will use it, all right? You have let me give you examples. You go to the buffet, really good food, wonderful. Do you want to eat it? Do you want to eat all of them? Something that looks good doesn't mean you wanted to eat it, wanted you to use it. The only thing that makes you to use it is we need to know your taste, whether or not you can customize yourself, DIY, all right? Can you come up with a service that they can mix and match? That is why it needs to come up with different packages, grab a bag, and things like that, right? So did you come up with something that can mix and match and do it yourself? The customers love it. The user love it. So not only just buying a product, can you stack up your service? Can you cross-sell and upsell? Can you do something about that? And remember, the ultimate objective is to make them stay. And what is the ultimate business revenue model? Subscriptions, all right? So you can see a lot of business and services. Anything you can think of, I can change it into a subscription model. Recently, one of my friends actually said, hey, Sean, you have got a lot of ideas because you're UX strategist, right? I wanted to turn something. I say, what is that? So he has a laundry shop, all right? So the customer always send the clothes manually, like dropping off and things like that. I say, come on, it's simple. Subscriptions. Why not you create some package, all right? Silver package, that much of a clothes. Gold package, that's much of a coach. And you can also top up that you can do the pickup from the clothes. What they can do is place the clothes in front of your doorstep because you're so busy and lazy, right? So, and then, you just put it there and someone will pick up the clothes for you, do the laundry for you, fold it, and put it back to your doorsteps, just like HelloFresh, right? So, subscription model. If you stop to pay that month, that means you can't enjoy this service. He said, what a great idea. Now, can you design the app for me? Okay. So that is the next step. You have to engage with a UX designer to shape up the whole experience. Remember, our job is not to map the whole journey, which is, yes, it's part of our job, but our job is to also look at it. Okay, now this is your journey, right? Can we make it even more simple? That's our job, all right? Our job is, even though you have existing website, we will actually tell you that, okay, technically, user will have to take 12 steps to buy your product. So you can also do your own experiment over there. When you ask your friends to use your website or an app, look at how many steps are there when they secure the booking or when they buy the product. If there are 12 steps, then you map it out in the customer journey map, which I'm going to show you next. All right, customer journey mapping. What you can do is that, all right, you can map up the whole process. What is the first touch point of your customers? Where do they go? So what is the next touch point? For example, if you want to watch a movie, you will take up the phone. So the phone will be your first touch point. So that is awareness, right? And then after that, you make consideration. You compare, should I go to event cinema or Hoyts or, whatever, right? You start evaluating your your choices. You look at the price of the movie tickets, right? And when you go to the cinema, they also do their cross-selling, upselling, right? What kind of a seat do you want to choose? Recliner or incliner or something like that, right? So see, even the cinema does that, right? And then after that, what do they do? What they have done? Loyalty card, right? A member, Hoyt's member, event cinema members. Or you can even buy this as a gift card. See how clever they are. So see, we know that in the digital world, people come from everywhere. We don't know their motive. We don't know their needs because the needs can change over time. And what does it tell us? It tells us that if you don't know them, it's all right because they never let you know them because the behavior keeps changing. So what we can do to cater this sort of uncertainty? Well, first of all, let's not think it is uncertainty. Let's think that that is the trend, all right? Because we really can't capture everyone's behaviors in the funnel in a traditional way. Remember, the online buying process has now become a loop. They keep looping one after another, right? So what you can do is that you can map it out, your customer journey. And then what is the first touch point? And you put a smiley face over there. And then if you think your customer stuck at second stage of your customer touch point, you put a sad face over there and ask yourself why they are looking sad. Can you do something about it? All right? We call them the moment of truth. If you can create value, all right, from the happy stage to unhappy stage, that is the point that we usually will look into it saying that, can we do something about it? All right? Can you do is there enough cross-selling, upselling involved? Do they need any clarity in the research loop? Are they in the research loop? You just need to ask yourself, ask your user, all right? Know more of them. Talk to more of them, not one of them, right? Talk to more of them and see whether they share the similar behavior throughout the journey. So in Air New Zealand, what we do is that we use a huge wall like this. Our customer mapping can be that long, right? Because we don't only do flight bookings. We also have A points. If you are the member of A Point, status point, you know what I'm talking about. All right? A points, then we direct you to the A Point More and A Point Store to redeem some goods, right? And also from there, we do some upselling, cross-selling over there. What are the holiday ideas that will help you to collect more points and to help you to stay into that point? So we are more than just flight booking, all right? And so we have got a different journey. One product, one journey. Don't get so many journeys, so many flows into one journey, right? So if you want to focus on one product, that product will only have one journey and look at how each touch point relates to each other. And from there, the sad face to happy face, what makes them happy? All right, what's makes them happy? Can you do it more? So from there, we create the moment of truth, all right? Over here, another method that we use is that, hey, let us look at how you operate your business right now. Okay, over here, are you still doing a single channel model in your business operations? That means if there's any problem, they will call you, right? That's the only way. There are people who do business like this, especially when we are in COVID-19, right? If you want any cakes, I can bake cakes, you call me. Okay, I deliver the cake for you. That's single channel, right? Single channel, you know that your revenue is just there because you don't really aim big. You don't want to have any revenue. You just want to maintain your existing clientele, right? So that's pretty much you can tell in single channel. Next, multi-channel. Multi-channel is each different user will choose their own way of communicating with you, all right? Some will go to a shop, some will call you, some will do the online booking. All right, now, the last channel over there is that the cross channel. It's where you go to the website, it directs you to the Instagram, or maybe like direct you to YouTube, and maybe you watch YouTube, you come back and do the booking and look at your product page and things like that. So now ask yourself, what model, what channel are you in at the moment? I'm sure, according to the survey, most small business owners are fall under cross-channel, all right? Cross-channel, or maybe multi-channel, all right? Single channel is not much. But the UX strategist will recommend something even more. We actually think that, hey, now, what about the user? Did we put the user at the center of all the platforms? Or rather, that you only want this different channel to form a network? That's it, right? So we want the network to do something for the user. Can the user do something by themselves? DIY, all right? Can the user make any decision? Can the user have that kind of flexibility and mobility and feasibility to make choice? Or how much limitations that you limit the user from making decision? Remember, the more rules, the more rules and regulation that limits them, the more they do not want to buy from you, all right? So we actually think that, hey, is there any way we can turn your cross-channel into omni-channel? So that means let these Internet of Things speak to each other and let your user decide which device they would like to use, because we never know what device they're going to use anyway. They could use iPad, they could use mobile phone, but I can tell you 90% of the online buyer actually use mobile phone, right? But even though they use mobile phone, that means the next question is, can the mobile app link to all these different channels together? And of course, when it comes to UX strategies, what we do is that we actually have to draw another line from human and between the human and the device. So there will be another sun, sort of a sun line, a line that looks like a sun, reaching in each other. So for me, this is still not perfect, because in the UX strategies, we always think that, okay, now you put the user at the center of design. Yes, they can choose, but can the phone talk to the user? That is why we go into using voice recognition, voice activations. Siri, can you buy me? Can you bring me to Uber Eats? That's how we make the device talk to the user. So there will be another line over there. All right. The reason why I show this to you, because you can find this online. But when it comes to the UX strategies, we always think more what we can do for the user. All right. So now voice recognition is the next big thing. All right. It's not because we are lazy. It's because it's so fast, and also we are designing for accessibility. All right. Inclusivity. All right. Some people, they might not read well. All right. Some people, they can't even see. All right. So by designing for accessibility, we can make sure that your digital funnel serves everyone. No one should be exempted from your service and your product. And that is what we call a perfect omni-channel experience. So now you know why it is so important to talk to a UX strategist, because we really can make the user, can make you think, all right, not what we think. We don't give you our strategies. We always direct you to, okay, now what is your user think? We serve as a facilitator. We help you to listen to the customers. So if you think that you can get all the insights from me, yes, but I'm not going to tell you, because we shouldn't tell you before we listen to the user. All right. If you talk to a UX strategist saying that you should do this, should do that, you can stop talking to them, because they never listen to the user. How do they know your user? So the good strategists will always bring you to talk to the user. What are the research methods that you can use, right? What works best to get the fastest insight, and what you can get from the data and turn it into business opportunity. Okay, now, last thing, if I can allow to speak for another 5 minutes. We also talk about micro moments over here. Micro moments is where people relatively turn the mobile phone into everything, right? They make the mobile phone become the needs. Remember, we talk about the touch point, the human touch point. Between each touch point, we create the moment of truth. But now, as a UX strategist, we do more. We actually realize that 90%, like 65%, all right, of the people that actually use mobile phone, to make a decision. So we make it really simple. Instead of talking about funnel, we are making it really simple. Only 4 stages that you really need to know. First, I want to know moment, right? Second, I want to go moment. And third, I want to do moment, and I want to buy moment. Simple as that. You don't need to remember what is awareness, what is consideration, what is evaluation, what is all this. Not many people. That's why the uni will never help you to get a job, all right? Because you remember so much, all right? And you don't know how it works. For us, we make it simple. My job is to make things simple. I always explain things after the teachers, teach us. Those are the days when you're sitting with your colleague, your course mates, and they will ask me, Sean, what did he say? I don't understand, right? So I make it really simple. And then from that moment, I know that I can actually turn something that is really complicated into really simple to understand. So look, it's really about the methodology, but this is what we are using because we know the research should make it accessible, understandable by every one of you, all right? Because first, we have no time. We have no time to study. We want fast result. We make it simple for you to do the research, right? So when you go back, think, this is a very simple exercise. Over there, I do not want to go deep into the statistics, but this is the recent statistics that when you go, I want to know, and then 66% of the mobile user actually turn their phone into something else. So that's why now when you buy a TV, what do you see from the TV? The TV nowadays is no longer when you switch it on and then you can have channel 1, channel 2, channel 3. It comes with apps, all right? Apps. So since when you say, oh, I only seen webs in my mobile phone, now why they actually appear in my TV? Because this is the next big thing. Only channel. Remember, when you watch TV, you also have to download the apps. So you have Android TVs. Now, movie become a streaming service. Even more to come. Why is that? Subscription. That is the ultimate goal. All right? So why not we see it? So that's why you need me to tell you. So when you actually see that's happening, I want you to be that strategist. Do this simple exercise. And sometimes a simple idea, just start with a simple idea. It will mix you, that will turn it to be $1 million idea. You don't have to start really, really complicated, right? And then when you start going, when you dive deep into it, I want to go, and then you know that, okay, 2 times of the user, they will say, okay, where is the nearest restaurant, right? Because you do not want to travel so far. If you can get the same thing that is near your place, why not? Let's say you want to get a haircut, barber, the barber shop near me, all right? So if someone near your location can offer a better service, why not? Then that means you are going into I want to go moment. Then I wanted to do it, then you start comparing. You start looking at reviews to help with your decision making because you really want to do it. Then after all this, remember research loop? Research loop, I want to do, that is the research loop. And then after that, when you use the mobile phone, see the moment, the micro moment is that every user now, 90% of the mobile user, you actually use the mobile phone as the need for you to perform a lot of daily tasks using the phone. That is where we think about that moment of time when you turn your mobile phone into something that is really, really important to your life. Can we do something about it? And this is actually what in New Zealand wanted to look at it right now, right? How we can make apps into a flight booking experience, because we know that most of the customers, they book your flight ticket using computer, using website, right? Now, our next step is how we can turn that experience into a mobile phone experience, all right? So now, this is what we will do. We will put it into a customer mapping using that 4 stages. Very easy. I want to know, I want to go, I want to do, I want to buy. Okay, lay out the customer journey map just like this, all right? See? All right, so you just simply forget about the text up there, okay? And then change it with the one that we have. I want to know, I want to go, I want to do, and I want to buy. Guys, that's it. I hope with these little pointers over here, I hope that you can make it, you can do it by yourself. And if you have any question, unfortunately, we don't have time. And you can actually connect with me in LinkedIn, or I'm happy to be invited to speak in your organization as well. So thank you so much. I hope you get benefits out of it. Thank you so much.